Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Today I'll be presenting research landscape in Canada video. My name is Dr. Moneeza Mujahid and I'm a research associate uh, in BMY Health Pakistan. So today we'll be discussing research culture in Canada, number of research setups in Canada, research funding in Canada, number of research startups in Canada, partners with Canada, academic and non-academic programs for research, number of research trainers and their average cost, Canadian IRBs, commercial IRBs in Canada, and how are IRBs regulated, and research collaboration platforms in Canada and research journals. In the end, we will discuss them and their scope. So I'll start off with research culture in Canada. What is research culture? Basically, it encompasses the collective behavior, value practices, and norms that define how a research is conducted and emphasizing integrity, collaboration, and innovation. Why is it important to do the research culture of Canada? Because it will ensure high quality, ethical, and innovative scientific work, fostering trust and progress in the academic and scientific community. So I'll start off with research culture in Canada. We have multidisciplinary collaboration, first of all, which is a cornerstone of Canadian research, where researchers join forces to address intricate challenges and to solve complex issues. And secondly, funding agencies, institutions, and research networks in Canada, they all encourage interdisciplinary research, fostering creativity and innovation. One example of that in Canada is Canadian Glyconomic Network, which include researchers from chemistry, biology, and medicine background to study the role of carbohydrates in human health and diseases. Then we have diversity and inclusivity. So it basically, Canadian research, it promotes equity and diversity in research community in Canada. And Canada's research includes people from different backgrounds, all working together for the advancement of science. And efforts are made to ensure that everyone is heard and valued in research setting in Canada. One example of that is the Indigenous Research Support Initiative, which provides funding and resources to support the Indigenous-led research projects so that the Indigenous population's voice is heard clearly. Then we have international collaboration. The international collaboration like it's active engagement in global partnership to address worldwide issues. Example of this international collaboration is that Canada is collaborating with is Global Water Future programs, which brings together researchers from Canada and various countries to address water-related challenges to collaboration projects and knowledge sharing initiatives. Exchange of ideas and resources with colleagues from around the world. It's kind of a nor culture in Canada. Then we have government support, significant investment in research and innovation through agencies like NSERC, which stands for Natural Sciences and Engineering Research Council in Canada, which funds and gives scholarship to students and postdoctoral fellows. Then we have CIHR, which stands for Canadian Institute of Health Research, which basically funds the health research. And we have SSHRC, which stands for Social Sciences and Humanities Research Council in Canada. And it supports and promotes post-secondary research and training and funds as well. Uh, so provision of grants, fellowship, and support of diverse research work, that's basically what the government support is there. Then we have academic excellence. So as we all know that there are so many nice, world-renowned universities in Canada, and they all have very good laboratories and facilities available, and students from all around the world come there, researchers come there and they work and study there. So basically attraction of top talent globally and provision of state of art resources. So then we have entrepreneurship and innovation in Canada. So basically, example of that is University of Toronto Creative Destruction Lab, and then there's Toronto, the Mars Discovery District. It's a place where people get together to create new healthcare ideas, and BMY Health Canada is one of the example of this. Basically, they cultivation of a culture supporting the translation of research into practical application. Whatever research is done, they try to translate it into practical life as well. Programs and initiative fostering entrepreneurship and contributing to economic growth. Then we have community engagement. So in Canada, the researchers basically they promote they do efforts to communicate research findings to the public and foster dialogue and promote science literacy and engagement with broader societal issues. One example of that is that the STEM learning program, which they start in the school from the school time, and that's basically teaches the children and individual about to develop their skills and knowledge about uh, s- science, technology, engineering, and maths, and that give them kind of ground for understanding the a lot of research going on around and knowledge. It give them knowledge to thrive in a rapidly evolving world of knowledge around them. Ethical conduct and integrity is adherence to high standard of research ethics and integrity. Tri council policy statement is one which ensures like it's kind of done it's basically framework which ensures research is carried out with integrity, respect for participant rights, and adherence to ethical standards. And I will discuss that later, that what basically tri-council policy statement is and who's running it. It's basically run by three federal agencies, and they work hand in hand, and then they make sure that ethical conduct is like all the standards of everyone adhere to the ethical standards of research. The next we come to the research setups in Canada. So, there are different research setups in Canada, like any other country. There are like universities and research institute, which are quite numerous institutions are actually conducting these cutting edge research in various disciplines. They have well equipped laboratories. Like we already said that the universities are world renowned universities are in Canada. So they have all kind of facilities available. So they are like kind of good setup for doing research. Then we have government research agencies. The key agencies include NRC, which stands for National Research Council, which is the largest federal research and development organization, which provides innovation, support, and strategic research and technical and scientific services. Then we have CIHR, which is Canadian Institute of Health Research, which is basically funding for health research. Then we have NSERC, National Sciences and Engineering Research Council in Canada, which is funding and giving scholarship and postdoctoral fellows funding. Then we have SSHRC, which is Social Sciences and Humanitarian Research Council in Canada, supporting and promoting post-secondary research and training. Then we come to the research hospitals and health centers, which conduct biomedical research and clinical trials. One example is Sick Kids, which is a very Sick Kid Hospital is basically one of the world's leading pediatric healthcare institution in Canada. It's located in Toronto, and it's known for its comprehensive care and research, cutting edge research and educational initiatives. And basically, it focuses on improving children health through scientific discoveries. Then we have Toronto General Health Hospital Research Institute and CAMH, which stands for Center of Addiction and Mental Health, which is basically the key research areas of that is brain sciences, clinical trial, genetics, epidemiology, health services research. and it's emphasizing on translational research findings into practical applications to improve patients' outcome. Then we have the national research facilities, which offer specialized infrastructures and infrastructure and expertise. Like, for example, CLS, which stands for Canadian Light Sources, and it's located in Saskatoon, and it's basically provides intense beams of light used by scientists to study the structure and properties of materials of atomic and molecular level. Then we have TRIMF, which is basically Tri-University Miron facility. Basically, it provides Canadian researchers with access to high energy particles and basically using nuclear and particle physics. Then we have CNL, which stands for Canadian Nuclear Labs, and Nuclear Science and Technology Organization, basically for health sciences, environmental, and nuclear safety. Then we have the ONC, which stands for Ocean Network Canada, and it provides real-time monitoring of ocean environment and supports research on ocean sciences and technology for the benefits of society and environment. Then we have industry research and development centers like private sector contributing significantly to research. And example of these include IBM Canada Lab, like it focuses on software development, cloud computing, AI, data analytics, and focuses on cutting edge technologies and innovation computing. Then we have Mars Discovery District, one of the world's largest urban innovation hubs, which is supporting startups and scale-ups in various sectors through research, development, and commercialization, focusing on health and fintech and ICT. Then we come to collaborative research networks, which foster collaboration among researchers and industries with multidisciplinary team tackling complex challenges. Example is that of Canadian Water Network, which aims to improve the management of water in Canada. Then we come forward to the research funding in Canada. So there are various kind of research fundings in Canada for which includes like Canadian research funding is it's in different forms, like in the grant form and fellowship and scholarships forms, infrastructure funding, strategic and targeted funding, and capacity building funding, knowledge translation and mobilization grants, and operational maintenance funding, and industry and innovation funding, and as well as international collaboration grants. So we will discuss them a little bit. We have, first of all, CFI, Canadian Foundation of Innovation, which was founded by Government of Canada in 1997 in Ottawa. To it basically fund research infrastructure and provides equipment, facilities, and maintenance grants. Basically, goal is to strengthen this capacity of Canadian university, colleges, research centers, non-profit organizations to carry out world-class research. So its scope is basically research infrastructure, equipment, facility, and maintenance is type of funding, and research focus is multidisciplinary, like I said, and there's variable amount of budget, like depending on the kind of research it's gonna fund. Then we have EDU Canada, which is led by Government of Canada as well, and its main scope is education sector. So it is high quality destination for international students, and its main aim is to provide valuable information and resources for the students who are interested in pursuing their education in Canada. Basically, what they do, they give information, resources, details about programs, admission requirements, and uh, scholarships, and they also guide on getting study permit and visas for international students who were interested, and it connects students with their support services in there offered by their education institution. Also, their budget is variable in millions to tens of millions. Uh, then we have Grand Challenges Canada, which was created in 2010, and it's located in Toronto, and it's a non-profit organization. And it's basically dedicated to supporting innovation in global health and development. And it's basically funded by the government of Canada, and it focuses on maternal and child health, mental health, and early childhood and development, and prevention and treatment of infectious diseases. This funding program for basically seed funding for bold ideas with big impact potential and supporting scaling of successful innovation to maximize their impact. So it's also focused on innovation that address health needs in conflict zones like natural disasters and civil war times and refugee camps and other humanitarian settings. So basically, it is also use basic. Basic research focuses on health and development, and its budget is variable with hundreds of millions depending on the type of place where it's using the funds. IDRC is International Development Research Center now, and it's basically located in Ottawa and established. It was established in 1970 by the Parliament of Canada. It basically supports research and innovation in developing countries to promote growth, reduce poverty, and and drive large-scale positive changes. And it provides financial support and expertise to researchers and institutions in developing countries. Its main global focus is in Asia, Africa, Latin America, and Caribbean, and promotes dissemination and use of research fundings through publications, conferences, and other knowledge sharing platforms. Then we have Metix Accelerate International. Basically, it is located in Vancouver and British Columbia, and it's founded in 1999 as a non-for-profit organization to foster innovation and collaboration between academia, industry, and government. And it basically supports bilateral research, collaboration between interns, universities, and industrial partners, both in Canada and in other countries as well. It also promote interdisciplinary research like AI and machine learning, data sciences, big data analytics, and smart cities and urban innovation, cybersecurity, environmental sciences, social sciences, health and life sciences. And it's basically its funding is budget is also variable, and it's like I said, it's multidisciplinary, and it gives grants and stipends. That's its type of funding which it does. Then we have NSERC, National Science and Engineering Research Council in Canada, and it basically promotes scientific discovery and innovation through funding, partnership, and scholarship. And research areas are basically physics, chemistry, biology, maths, computer sciences, engineering. And it supports partnership with industry and providing funding for various projects. Then we have SSHRC, standing for Social Sciences and Humanitarian Research Council in Canada, established in 1997 by the Government of Canada to provide financial support to researchers and scholars in the social sciences and humanitarian disciplines. It basically provides grants and scholarship to researchers and students for their research. Then we have NFRF, which stands for New Frontiers in Research Fund. And it was launched in 2019 by the Canadian government to support basically international collaboration and high risk, high reward research projects across all disciplines. And it supports projects that are innovative, collaborative, and have the potential to generate significant impacts and advancements across diverse disciplines. Uh, Now we'll see which options are better for healthcare research out of all these. because we are healthcare professionals, so that's why I thought it's important to know. So according to all what according to my research, I found out it's Canadian Institute of Health Research is basically it's fully dedicated to the it's basically supports the health research completely. So that's why it's good for those who are interested in doing health research in Canada. And it's basically it funds the essential clinical trials and supports training development of health researchers, encouraging interdisciplinary and sector-wide partnerships. And the other one is New Frontiers and Research Fund, which is basically focus on supports high risk and high reward projects and facilitate global research partnerships. And it promotes cross-disciplinary projects and covers a wide range of health-related research areas. So, in my opinion, these two I found that they were, as compared to the other ones, I thought maybe they are better for health research. Then we have number of research startups in Canada. So, what are actually startups? Are any new businesses which are just starting and are often very small, and they have innovative or new ideas that they want to bring to the market to solve a problem. Their main characteristics are basically risk taking and potential to grow rapidly and their flexibility. So, if when we look at this global startup rankings in 20 from 2023, it says that Canada is on the fourth in the whole world. It's like up to 40% startups are happening in Canada only. Who are above them? Actually, USA is above it. On number one, we have Silicon Valley, USA, and New York City, USA, and London, UK, which are on the top three positions. And it was also mentioned that the gap between the first three and Canada is a bit big because it's shown there's a robust growth of New York City, USA, and London, UK. They're working together to maintain strong positions due to diverse and dynamic tech sectors there. Then we have startup landscape in Canada, over 3,000 startup estimated in Canada, out of which 10.27% is pharmaceutical, med tech, and health sector. Others include 23.63 is technology and telecommunication, and 10.27% insurance and finance. The locations of Canadian startup, the main Toronto Waterloo area emerges as the primary hub for the startups. The other locations are Montreal, Vancouver, Calgary, and Alberta. Also prominent startup cities. These four are after main cities actually Toronto, Waterloo, where most of the startups are. 39 cities in the top 1,000 worldwide, showcasing a vibrant startup scene. This is the link if anyone is interested in seeing more of the statistics. Then we have partners in Canada. Partners in Canada basically refer to the Canadian commitment to solving global challenges by fostering global research community. And it basically focuses on the specific high impact scholarships and fellowships and top tier talents. And it's basically different from funding because funding is a broader range of financial support, while this one partners are basically focusing on specific things like they are aimed at doctoral and postdoctoral researches, and they basically aim on scholarships and fellowship of top tier, researchers. They want to bring researchers from around the world here and support them for their research. So there are various partners. I will go to the slide where I have compared all of them. So we have all these partners here. The first one is Vanier CGS. CGS means Canada Graduate Scholarship Program. So basically, they give scholarship funding to students, and it's up to like 50,000 per year for up to 3 years. And basically, they attracts and retain world-class doctoral students from all fields. Then we have the Banting Postdoctoral Fellowship Program, which basically attracts and retain top-tier postdoctoral talent, and they basically provide fellowship fundings and up to 70,000 per year, up to 2 years. Uh, and they involve actually they are for all they fund all fields. Then we have this CIHR, Canadian Institute of Health Research. Basically, it is funding the fellowship fundings. Basically, it provides and it's health in health related fields, and it supports outstanding postdoctoral researchers as well. And its value per year, like it varies. It's like different depending on the kind of research and kind of researchers, like what kind of researchers and what kind of research is there. That means like how good the researchers are. So CRC is Canada Research Chairs. Basically, it uh, enhances research capacity for Canadian universities and in all the fields. And basically, their fund also varies, and they basically fund you for 5 years, which is renewable. Then we have the Canada Excellence Research Chair Program, which is established world-class research program at Canadian universities. And it basically chair fundings 10 million over 7 years, which is renewable in all the fields. Then we come to academic and non-academic research programs in Canada, which include academic research programs, include university programs like conducting extensive research in various fields. And then we have colleges programs. Similarly, they have also they engage in applied research with industry and government partners and focus on practical skills based education. Then we have research institute, which basically which are independent or university affiliated, and they're specialized in various areas like health, environment, energy, technology, and they're funded by government grants, industries. Then we have non-academic research programs in Canada. So their examples are NRC, which is National Research Council of Canada. Then we have AAFC, which is Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada. Then we have ECC, which is Environmental and Climate Change Canada. And they all lead initiative in science, health, agriculture, environment. Then we have industry research and development centers, which they invest in innovation and global competitiveness and collaborate with universities and research institutes. Non-for-profit research organization examples are Canadian Cancer Society, Heart and Stroke Foundation, Canadian Mental Health Associations. They all fund and conduct health and social issue researches. Then we have think tank and policy research organizations which influence public policy and decision making and research economics, social issues, and international affairs. We will come to this table, which summarizes the significant contributions of various universities to research and innovation in Canada, alongside challenges such as funding cuts impacting the research resources. So we have how much R&D expenditure by universities, basically research and development expenditures by the universities was 16 billion according to the Statistic Canada 2022. And university research for business funding was 1.2 billion according to the Statistic Canada 2022. And university research for non-for-profit sector was 1.5 billion. Then companies in university research parks were nearly 1,500 companies, and employees in university research parks were about 65,000. That's according to a 2013 data because I couldn't found a new one for that. The GDP generated by university research parks were 4.3 billion, and internationally trained faculty was 40% according to the Statistic Canada 2011. Decrease in funding overall was around 30%. That's also from, I think, 2013 data. Now, I don't know what's the new situation. I couldn't find. I'll search more on that. We have Canadian IRBs, the next topic, which we're gonna talk about. So, what are basically IRBs? IRBs are, first of all, IRB stand for Institutional Review Board. We all know that. And it basically approves research involving humans to ensure ethical conduct and participant safety, focusing on minimizing the risks and ensuring informed consent. It operates under federal regulations and international guidelines. Then we have some historical context of that, what it basically the role and importance, which I already shared, is that it protects the right, safety, and well-being of human research participants and also ensure adherence to ethical principles and regulatory requirements and promotes the trust in the research process. Then we come to the legal and regulatory framework. So we have national regulations governed by Tri-Council policy statement, ethical conduct for the research involving humans. That's called TCP2, which I'm going to discuss in the coming slides. Then we have international guidelines, which we adhere to. They adhere basically to the guidelines of Declaration of Helsinki, and they sets ethical standard for research involving human participants. Then we have some regulatory bodies who are overseen by federal agencies like Canadian Institute of Health Research and Social Science and Humanitarian Research Council for Canada. And now we come to the composition and membership. So basically, the number of members varies, but according to federal regulation in Canada, composition of Canadian IRBs and ethical review boards include basically one member and expert. One member should be an expert in the research discipline. One should have knowledge about ethics, and one member should have relevant law knowledge, and one should be from the community representing the interest of general public. So overall there should be like 5 members in the IRB group in Canada, just like in USA. The review in the review process, we can see the first step is actually to submit the protocol. Before commencing the study, we need to submit the protocol. Then we go to the ethical evaluation step, which assess the risks and benefits for participants and review the informed consent procedures which they have made, ensure protection for vulnerable population like pregnant ladies and old people and children. Then we ensure benefits outweighs the potential risks in that research. We have to make sure that. Then we come to the decision making part in which may approve either the document as it is submitted, or it might change it or modify it. Commercial IRBs in Canada, I'm discussing that because we're basically looking at the whole research landscape in Canada. So we need to know the commercial IRBs as well. So role and function is basically ethical review. This is similar role and function like the other one. It offers ethical review services for a variety of research studies, like in pharmaceutical trials, which is very, very important. Medical device studies, also it's very important. Behaviors research, social science research, and it provides impartial and objective review of research protocols, informed consent documents, and study procedures and ensure compliance with ethical principles, regulations, and guidelines. That's basically their whole work to do that. Regulatory compliance is national and international regulations are done by operated according to the Tri-Council policy. Now I will come to the Tri-Council because we talked about it so much and we didn't discuss it at all. So when we come to the regulation of IRBs in Canada, we come to that in Canada, IRBs, also known as research ethic boards, are regulated by a combination of federal, provincial, institution policies, regulations, and guidelines. How they're regulated, basically we have three types of institutions, policies and guidelines regulating them: federal policies, provincial and institutional guidelines. Federal policies include Tri-Council Policy Statement, Canadian Institute of Health Research, and then we have provincial policies including Health Canada regulations and provincial health acts. And institutional guidelines include University Ethic Committee, Hospital Review Board. Coming to the Tri-Council Policy Statement, it basically it's named so because it represents the collaboration between three Canadian federal research agencies like CIHR and SCRC, which are discussed already with USSHRC. Uh, it was developed basically to provide common policy framework for the ethical conduct of research involving humans across all disciplines, funded by three federal research agencies. And it require all of these agencies, CIHR, NSCRC, and SSRC, they require basically ethical approval from certified REB for funding as well. So basically provides ethical guideline for research involving humans in Canada, and it's jointly developed by these three, which I just discussed, and outlines ethical principles, requirements, and procedures for conducting research involving human participants. The area it covers is informed consent, which is very important for any research, especially the clinical research. Privacy and confidentiality is another important issue, and roles and responsibilities of of REBs. Then we have federal and provincial legislations, which include Health Canada oversight. It basically oversees the research involving health products and biologics, including clinical trials. And relevant legislation includes Food and Drug Act and Controlled Drugs and Substance Act. The provincial legislation basically govern aspects of research, ethics, oversight, like privacy laws, and regulating the handling of personal information in research studies. Then we have institutional policies. Different institutions have different policies, like we have in BMY Canada, we have separate kind of policy. Also institutions have their own policies. Hospitals have their own policies for sharing the data of the patient. So basically, it includes requirement of REB establishment, operation, and RED protocol review. And institutional policies and procedure vary by institution and may or may not be publicly available. Then we have the government agencies and research funding bodies. Basically, the government agency oversees research ethics in certain contexts, particularly clinical trials, biomedical researches. They include Health Canada, Public Health Agency of Canada, provincial health authorities, and research funding bodies required researchers to, or like I already said, they need a certified REB as a condition for funding. They cannot fund anyone without having this certified. They have to be certified by REB. So they include CIHR and NSERC and SSHRC. Certification is again mentioned here. It says some provinces like have certification. All the provinces actually have different ways of different types of certifications, and there are different procedures to do them. So we need to go on their sites and learn how they are done. And this certification is very important for providing funding to the researchers. You can't give funds without them. Certification accreditation program vary by province, like I mentioned already, and they involve formal assessment by external bodies and regulatory authorities, and every province has a different one. Then we have research collaboration platforms in Canada. So we have research infrastructure and collaboration in Canada, which involves research data, Research Data Canada RDC, which is committed to building the Canadian research data management ecosystem, promoting collaboration among researchers, institution, and organization involved in research data management. Then we have CANAIR, which is non-profit organization supporting research, education, and innovation. And it basically provide a high speed network infrastructure and advanced services to Canadian researcher educators and uh, and innovate for new innovations. And Compute Canada basically offers advanced computing resources and expertise, like by offering access to high performance computing, HPC, and data storage resources. And Canadian Research Knowledge Network fosters collaboration by providing access to a wide range of digital resources and facilitates collective licensing agreements. Then the Portage, basically Portage Network supports research, data management, and collaboration, and offers services and resources for data management and sharing, fostering collaboration among the researchers. Then we have the Canadian Open Neuroscience Platform, which is CONP, which facilitates open science and data sharing in neuroscience. And it aims to facilitate the sharing and analysis of neuroscience data and tools across Canada, promoting open science practices. Then we have Genome Canada, which is basically the research funding and partnership include metrics, which we already talked about. It funds and support research collaborations between academia and industry. Genome Canada, basically, it aims to fund and support large-scale genomic projects to advance research in health, agriculture, environment, and natural resources. Then we have CCR, Canadian Consortium for Research Advance. It basically advances cancer research through collaboration. The last one we have is research journals in Canada. There are about 10 research journals which I've mentioned here, which I found in Canada. They are on different subjects. Like we have Canadian Journal of Chemistry, Science. We have Earth Sciences one. We have Aquatic Sciences, Microbiology, Zoology, Plant Sciences, Psychiatry, and Public Health, and Physics and Veterinary Science. Basically, these journals are promoting Canadian research and fostering collaboration, and they show basically uh, casing diversities in different from different subjects. They bring cases, and voices and research interest of different people in Canada, and they basically support early career of researchers as well, and they address local issues, and they enhance the global visibility and quality assurance and knowledge mobilization, as well as for driving innovation by publishing cutting edge research. Number of journals, basically Canada hosts a dynamic array of research journals, which I already showed you in different fields. And the scope of these journals are that it varies ranging from discipline specific to interdisciplinary. It covers the basic sciences, applied research, review articles, emerging trends, and perspectives. And how can we access them? Basically, we can go on these sites to find them, like on Google Scholar. We all know Canadian Associate of Research Library, Scholars, Porter Journals, Canadian Science Publishing, and PubMed, and Directory of Open Access Journal. That's all for today. Thank you so much for listening. If there's any question, please let
Thank
me
you,
know.
Dr. Moneeza. Wonderful presentation. It's a very
Thank you
good
so
start. Good start of learning the research landscape of Canada.
much.
And you have covered nicely many aspects of the research landscape, starting from the regulations, the trainings, the funding agencies, the IRBs, and the journals.
Thank
So,
you.
it's a very good presentation, briefly discussing all of the things.
Thank
And
you so
maybe we
much,
can build on this further and have some more focused discussion on each aspect of this research landscape. Like I was thinking that we can have a discussion on the certification of IRBs that will help us Um,
Yes. Okay.
and secondly, the journals, I wanted to know if we have a complete list of the journals. And I think we have the 10 journals that you have focused, they are the bigger journals. We
Yes.
may be having some small other journals also, definitely. It's
Ji.
a big country, so we
Ji.
need to research more on that.
Yes.
And we can have another presentation on this thing.
Yes,
Yes.
inshallah.
So
Yes.
so we are impressed by your presentation and we want to
Thank
learn
you.
more from you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, indeed, it was a very wonderful presentation. I learned a lot, and couple of things I already knew, but many things I knew today. And I was wondering, Dr. Bushra and Dr. Moneeza, can we apply for any kind of research project from the platform of BMY Pakistan?
Yes, why not? This is the purpose of today's meeting, Dr. Saima.
Right.
I wanted all of us to
Uh,
know the potential that we have in Canada because we have
exactly.
a site in Canada, right? So BMY Health
Right.
is a site in Canada. So why not apply for
Okay.
fundings as a collaboration between BMY Health Pakistan and BMY Health Canada? So Canada have
Right.
we have a few strengths like we have research
Uh,
infrastructure, funding sources, and
uh,
Pakistan has the potential of having the, it's a variety of diseases, and we have so many patients. Uh,
yes.
burden of diseases is larger in Pakistan. So
Right.
we can leverage these both of these strengths of both of our sites and apply for
Right.
funding from Canada.
Yes, that would be ideal. And this is
So
how like both the countries can benefit.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. And now we need to know more about what are the funding, the interests of the sponsors here.
Ah, okay.
In Pakistan, we already know the strengths that we have, I have also made a research landscape report for Pakistan. You can see on BMY Pakistan website, it's there. It's a whole report. You will see what kind of strengths we have in Pakistan, what diseases are there that are
Ah,
not available for research in other countries. So,
right.
so the strengths of Pakistan we know. Now we need to know
Ah,
what are the strengths of Canada and how to actually uh, gauge this resource and how
opportunity.
to
Right.
what fundings
Right.
to apply. So,
Ah,
Dr. Moneeza, maybe you can have a session on research fundings. What are the
Okay.
interests of sponsors here in Canada? What are their interests in different diseases and which fundings Pakistan can apply for? And this is how we can maybe go to apply for fundings as a collaboration of BMY Health Pakistan and Canada.
Ji.
And we can invite other organizations also. They can apply um, in collaboration with BMY Health Pakistan.
Ji. We had one funding IDRC, which I just mentioned, International
Mm.
Development Research Center. They are
Yes,
providing funding in Africa, Asia, Latin America, and Caribbean. So I think Pakistan will be in the Asian region. Hopefully, they will be giving us fundings. I don't
nice.
know.
Okay,
Ji.
that's good.
So maybe we can
Yes,
explore it a bit more and do a little more research on that.
yes,
Yes,
exactly. And I'll also send you a few links and then we can maybe work on this, inshallah.
inshallah.
So, a very good presentation. Thank you so much, Dr. Moneeza. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you
Saima.
so much, Dr. Bushra. Thank you, Dr. Saima, for
thank you so
coming.
much. Yes, I'm very happy in this. I'm feeling very good that I got this opportunity. I was very
Thank you
much
so much.
interested to know it landscape, research landscape in Canada, and I'm very hopeful that from this platform we can apply for very good grants, and we need to start from the smaller one. But I'm very hopeful that this platform will excel like anything if we are going to avail such opportunities.
Inshallah,
Inshallah.
yes, Dr. Saima.
Inshallah. Ji. Thank you
Okay,
so
Inshallah.
much.
thank you. Allah Hafiz. Allah
Thank
Hafiz.
Thank you,
you.
Ji.
Allah
Allah Hafiz.
Hafiz.
Yes, Allah Hafiz.